Hey, this is Devon from Team 3D, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. Testify.
All right, we are back, and we are joined by Elijah Burke. I want to welcome you to In Your Head.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it's good times. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, and let's just back up a second. Nowadays when you refer to Elijah Burke, you got to put the Pope of Wrestling in front of that. Okay, so if you were to reintroduce me, it'd be the Pope of Professional Wrestling.
All right.
Elijah Burke.
We are joined by the Pope of Professional Wrestling.
There you go, brother.
Elijah Burke itself.
And we're live, man.
Huh?
And we're live, so what's good?
And we're live. Everybody check out the ElijahExpress.com. You can see all your upcoming appearances. Because you're a busy man. The Pope's a busy man.
Well, I got to, what is a Pope without his congregation? And, the Pope has a congregation of thousands, and, have to cater to them. And, Pope's been busy. Pope's been working every weekend here and there. And, I've done some stuff over in Puerto Rico with WWC and, the Colognes over there. I was on Abdullah's, third retirement show? Or
Catch up with Terry.
And let me tell you, it was a classic, man. To see Abdullah out there going against Boss Mahoney. And I hope to be a part of his upcoming coming out appearance because, did I miss it already? He had a show somewhere in last month. He retired in December, I believe, and then he wrestled again in January. God bless Abdullah.
Is this comeback, man?
Yeah, it's a big comeback.
What was that your first time wrestling in Puerto Rico?
Actually, it was my first time wrestling in Puerto Rico, and that's one thing I love about the fans of Puerto Rico is that you throw some punches, or if I feel a little dusty, I want to get a little dusty with it, I start dropping some elbows, and they're going, wah. And so I had fun over there in Puerto Rico. I did some stuff with Armando Estrada.
Mm-hmm. We just had him on a show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy, yeah. Armando is. And we actually teamed the last time I was over there against their tag team champions, Thunder and Lightning, and there's no need to ask who carried that match. And that's a knock on my brother Armando. So Armando, if you're listening, get it together, kid. I can't do it all.
Right.
The first time I was over there, they had me booked in a three-way ECW Hardcore Extremes Rules match, and yeah, it was the ECW Originals, Steve Corino, and the ECW Legend Sabu, and then they had the new breeder, Elijah Burke, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, something's wrong with here, because they got an original ECW Extremes Rules match, and I'm thinking to myself, these people must think that I was with the Philadelphia-based ECW,
right?
And all of a sudden I'm looking out there and I'm seeing barbed wire tables being set up and chairs and baseball, and I'm going whoa, wait a minute now. I'm from the I can go hardcore, but wait a minute, I'm not doing all this barbed wire and getting cut up and all that. I'm still a virgin of that stuff. So.
Exactly.
When I get cut and I bleed, it's gonna be it's gonna mean something. It's gonna be special. So needless to say, but we went out there, me, Sabu, and Carino, and we did the do, and we had a good fun, crazy match, and at the end, Sabu and Carino were covered in blood, and I stuck it to them, but unfortunately, I didn't come out on top. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. We got a caller here on the line. He's been calling all night, so let's get to him. We got Brian here on the line.
What's up, Brian?
Not much. How about yourself?
I'm doing, man. What's good?
I was wondering if you're planning on returning or working with OVW again, because I heard you were up here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Actually, I was up there, like you said, a couple of weeks ago, and every now and then when I'm in the area, I will stop by and and go up there and help out the guys and, give some advice and actually get in the ring and roll around myself. I like to stay in shape because, let's face it, some of the places that I'm wrestling at now, I don't have a lot of time to get in the ring. I just go, show up, I wrestle, and I leave. So I like to stay in shape, and OVW is my home. I haven't been there in a while, but OVW is my home, and I can go there anytime I want to. Danny Davis is a great guy. He's like my great-great-great-grandfather. That's a little round guy, so he's like the wizard. He sits behind the curtain and he never comes out. If he comes out from behind that curtain, he means business. But if I am to wrestle at OVW, I don't mind going back and doing an appearance here and there, but it has to be right. It has to benefit OVW. It's not going to benefit them if I just show up and wrestle. If Danny needs me to show, to come and do a couple of shows, he got my number. We talk all the time. He knows what to do, and we've actually discussed it. But it has to mean something. It has to be right. I just can't show up and perform. Because we want to put butts in the seat. We want to draw people into OVW, and the people that's already there are going to be there. So if I'm coming, we need to build it up, advertise, and let's make something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely not
a hard time.
Well, a lot of people are discussing the hard time topic or issue when it comes to OVW, but we need to look at the overall situation here. It's not just that OVW is going through a hard time. The American economy is going through a hard time. WWE is suffering behind it. Everybody has suffered and felt the impact of the downturn in the economy. If not, then 10% of WWE's employees, including myself, wouldn't have been released.
Yeah, because I know that they just lost their TV time recently, and they're working to get it back.
A lot of people, again, unbeknownst to a lot of folks, because I know that a lot of you guys can only read. Okay, get your stuff together here. I don't need all that feedback while I'm talking.
No, it was the caller. We dropped him quick.
You dropped him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're bad dudes, like I told you.
Yeah, man.
I'm sending an intro over to this house right now.
A lot of people don't know that they can only go by what they read and from the internet and whatever and what they hear. But OVW didn't lose their TV time. Janet opted out of his TV deal. So we have to look at things the way they are. Sometimes what's on the forefront is not really what's going on. Danny opted out of that, and I'm sure he'll find a better one that suits his needs as well, as well as his business. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, since you brought up OVW, I gotta ask something because I read this recently in the Observer, and I'm not saying this is what I said, but it was Dave Meltzer said that Elijah was recently in OVW, and it was like he's already hated. He had like a match with a bunch of near falls, and he went in the back, and he's like, follow that. Now, is there any truth to that, or what's going on?
I have no idea what that is about.
Right.
But then again, it is what it is. One thing about OVW and any type of promotion on the indies like that is that you have a lot of OVW provides opportunity for a lot of guys that want to be wrestlers, a lot of guys that are aspiring to be wrestlers, and a lot of guys that, truth be told, their goal is not to make it to the big time. Their goal is not to make it to WWE or TNA or anything like that. Their goal is to one day look back and pop in a videotape and show their children or their children's children, hey, look, Daddy was a professional wrestler, or Granddaddy used to do this, or I would have been doing this had it not, but I had you and I had to commit to you. A lot of those guys aren't serious about wrestling anyway. One thing that Elijah did was Elijah went to help out OVW, just out of the random blue. I had been talking to Danny, as I previously mentioned, and we're really close. And, again, he's like my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. And
that
so,
far back.
Yeah, I mean, him and Jim Cornette, they birthed me into this business, literally. So I owe a lot to him. And any time that he needs me or I can help him out or contribute to his business, I'm going to do it. And so there's a kid up there. OVW's produced a lot of stars, and there's some good talent in OVW, but when these guys don't have anybody better than themselves to work with, they cannot get better. And so there's one guy that he got some high hopes for, and I feel the same way about the guy. So I've been working with that guy and helping that guy, to help him get better so that he can possibly be the next breakout star and carry that company. And then, in the meantime, he could be a great draw for the company. So I went and I worked with him on the house show that they got at. I can't remember where it was, but I worked with him, and we had a good time. We had a good match. My thing to the boys was simple: let's go out here, have fun, and remember what situation we're all in right now. Danny Davis doesn't. If Danny wanted to, he can shut OVW down tomorrow. I mean, because he's running it just for the guys' benefits, so he can shut it down tomorrow if he wants to. We need to go out there and bust our butt. We can't go on these house shows, and I always say we because even though I'm not with OVW, that's still my home. The guys can't go out there to these house shows where people are paying their money and have 6 or 7 comedy matches. That you can't do that. That's not going to put butts in the seats. It's not going to bring them back. None of the characters are taken seriously. You can be a character all you want. Eugene was one of the most craziest and silliest characters there is. But Eugene can wrestle. That's the bottom line. The guy's got to be able to wrestle, and they're getting it mixed up or whatnot. So, it's kind of slacking maybe in leadership. So if I got there and I motivated the guys, which I intended to do, and it was taken wrong or reported wrong, then so be it. That's one thing, that's going to happen when you got marks in this business, literally on the inside of the business. So.
Right. Thanks for calling in, Brian.
No problem.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, we got, I'm not sure the name, but area code 315.
All right, that sounds.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I called to speak for the Black Pope. This is Mike Money.
You mean one of his biceps? Oh, no, you mean a larger.
That's not me.
Oh.
Either or.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
All right, I just wanted to ask you, could you go into detail about your only loss during the boxing career?
I'm sorry?
Can you go
you
into
want to know about your boxing career and your only loss in your boxing career.
What about it? What do you want to know?
All right, well, I was playing SmackDown, and JR says that the only reason you lost is because you wouldn't stop, kicking the guy's ass, pretty much.
The boxing career, my amateur boxing career is a mix of amateur boxing, the record at least. It's a mix between amateur boxing and tough man. Those are what I did. So that whole record is a compiled list of both of those intertwined with one another. And some of those, I've done some crazy stuff, man. I've done tag team tough man bouts. I've done Thunderdome tough man bouts, which are like 3-on-3, and it's 2 opponents from a team for the first however minutes, and then two more opponents get in, and then the next 2 opponents get in, and if everybody from each team survives, now it's 3-on-3 all in the ring at one time. I've done some crazy stuff, but basically the loss was, what it was when the referee tells you to stop hitting somebody, or if the referee waves his hand and you go and you hit the guy, while the referee has gotten between you and you almost hit the referee. Well, that's the situation. And I had a lot of great times beating up the firemen as well, because I boxed for Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and that's how I started. And one day you guys will see the footage, I'm sure. The thing is, I'm not an internet guy, so you're not going to see it on no YouTube, because if that was the case, it'd be on there now. But you'll see it when it's, it'll be worth some money as it is, and it'll probably be on a best of DVD or whatnot. And I was going to the ring, man, in robes, and I'm not talking about any type of robe. I'm talking about put together, money made robes. I have one of the best seamstress there is. Her name was Lucy Solomon from Jacksonville, Florida, and she put some robes together for me, man. That oh gosh, and every time we did these events, it's what I wore. Mind you, I'm one of Jacksonville's finest, going out there to represent against the firemen, and I was getting booed. Why was I getting booed? Because I was the only person out of all these people that went out there in either a red and yellow tank top and shorts representing the firemen, or a blue and yellow, which represent the police. And I would go out there in robes, man. I was the only one, because I had this desire to entertain. That's my whole purpose of doing it. If I could have went out there every time just in a robe, got in the ring, strutted around, did a woo, and then went back to the locker room, I would have been fine. But the only reason I did it was I was suppressing, my urge, or just trying to get my fulfillment of entertaining the crowd. Trust me, I do not want to go out there and get beat on. And in the tough, man, I remember we used to have these, they used to try to make us wear helmets, man. And I was fighting this big dude that had just got out of jail. He had to be like 280 pounds. And he was a big guy. He was a big brother. And he hooked my arm. He hooked my arm in the corner. I started fighting him, and he backed up into the corner, and he hooked my arm with his left hand, under my armpit. And while he's holding me, he's hitting me with his right in just wherever he can. And the referee's not doing nothing. And I some sort of way, I remember looking at the tapes. I get chills every time I see it. I just, I break free from him and take my headgear off, and I just go in, charge him, and pushes him back in that corner, man, and I just wear him out. And the referee, stopped it, and I just kept going. I was just pissed, and thus the loss.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thank you.
I know it took me. I know I went all the way to Africa and Asia and all the points in between, but we finally got to it. Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, man. No problem.
Listen, man. I know something a lot of people in the chat room were asking about was the new breed like the stable. What did you think of it, and why did it end so quick?
It was for one purpose. I would think, at least looking back on it, it seemed as if it was such. But it was for one purpose, and the main purpose was for the introduction of these talented young men, Corvine and Thorne and Stryker, and to also catapult us in a sense and put us right dab in the middle of what was going on. And that was to put us up against the
originals,
the ECW originals, and I think the mindset, the mindset and the thinking going into it was that, hey, we know that we're not going to have the originals for long, assuming, so let's build this and get what we can, and let's use these guys who are already established to help establish our younger talent. And, it was a cool thing. Did I think it ended far too soon? Absolutely. But, after Mania and after the tables, the rematches that following Tuesday, following Mania, I guess they just didn't see that it can go any other place, which I thought there was so much more to be made from it. So much. We could have went so far with that new breed, man, but it's the past, and that's that. Because when you look back and you think on it, you start saying, man, what could have been?
Yeah.
Do I think the ball was dropped? Somewhat, but it did serve its purpose.
What was it like just being part of your first WrestleMania?
Oh man, I cried like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I cried like a baby. Do you know how many legendary figures right now that have wrestled quadruple the years that I've been wrestling, and they have never made it to WrestleMania? And here I was, this little black kid from Jacksonville, Florida, that didn't have people called me crazy and stupid when I left the force after 5 years to go pursue my dream with no guarantees. And I went up to Louisville, and I was straight out of high school. I went into the police academy straight out of high school, so I was shocked. I remember when I went to buy my first home for my mom. I went to buy my mom a house, and the people, I didn't have any credit, and I was out of high school. And as she brought me my license back, I opened up my badge to put my license back into my badge compartment, and man, she saw that badge. It speaks, man. You know what I'm saying? The power of the badge. And it was, oh, wait a minute, we didn't know that you were this or that. And it was kind of good for a young guy that was 19 years old, man, to be out there, and in the just coming out of the police academy and being able to take care of, my responsibilities, my mom. And, people thought I was stupid, but, it paid off in the end. Through sheer determination, and a year or 2 years later, here I am at WrestleMania, and it was a great feeling, a great accomplishment, and I cried. I never thought in a million years that I would be performing on the grandest stage of them all. I never thought that I would be performing on the same card that has The Undertaker, that has Undertaker and Batista and Shawn Michaels and John Cena and all these just the legendary guys, and I think that's just what hit me, and I looked at Undertaker, man, and he saw me with the emotion, man, that just welled up, and he just kind of pulled me next to him, and so I can just let it out without but it was wonderful. It was magic.
Mm-hmm. You said, you grew up watching WrestleManias. Was there any, one particular guy that, stood out, one to make...
Starrcade.
Starrcade?
Yes, we all grew up watching WrestleMania, and everybody can sit around and start trying to, hey, I'm pro WWE.
Right.
Look, I call it just like it is and just like it was. I was straight NWA through and through. You got to remember that. I'm from down south.
Yeah.
Okay? So NWA was a staple. It was it was Saturday morning. It was Saturday evening. It was Thursdays. We're talking Georgia Championship Wrestling, NWA Worldwide. You name it, man. And my thing was Starrcade. And I was through and through the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. That's the reason I'm here. Dusty Rhodes and the Nick Sport Radio Club. These are the two reasons, the two most influential people in the business of wrestling that got me involved.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you're talking WrestleMania, then obviously there's two people that immediately comes to mind, and that's Hogan and Warrior. I think everybody that's within my age range, they look back and the first thing that comes to mind is Hogan and Warrior in WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
So that's the one that stands out. I'm not one of the guys. Some guys come on today and they just started watching wrestling in 1999 or 2000 or in the Attitude era.
Right.
But man, I'm all the way back to the studio, man. That's what I love. I used to be sitting on my dad's knee or sitting at his feet, while he's eating him some biscuit and syrup, Daddy, and then watching American Dream out there doing the elbow or two to the Horseman, and J.J. Dillon gets up there on the apron and he hits him with the elbow too. Talking about hard times.
Saturday, 6:05 Eastern.
You about to make me start getting into my Dusty mode. Don't start me, Daddy.
You got a question from the message board, Incher?
Yeah, actually I do. This guy from the message board, Psycho Goatee, he wants to know, how did you like working with Rob Van Dam? Any Rob Van Dam stories?
I think that I told I think that I told this before on a previous conversation. Rob Van Dam, you know, if I have to write a book, he would definitely get probably a chapter or darn near a chapter. He was probably, whether he know it or not, anybody else know it, he was probably the most influential wrestler as far as in the ring with me. You know, he played a big part of me getting what I got. He was really responsible for that. In some ways, and the way of that is simply put, I got in there and I was, you know, straight. You know, I hadn't wrestled that much. If you look back, you know, I did about 4 matches on SmackDown. Let me see, it was, you know, I wrestled the Tyrone guy, which was Turk's opponent. They decided to put me in there, you know, and once I did that one match that was supposed to be Turk's, they go, oh, wait a minute, you know, this kid, you know, he can go. Then I got back in there with Tatanka, you know, and then it was supposed to have been Turk and Rey Mysterio, and they put me in there with Rey. And so that's how I kind of just started getting rolled with me. Then my last match on SmackDown was with Vito in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. Wow, I sound like an old guy now. I'm calling out the dates in the arena. Wow. So then we went to ECW. I did a tag match or 2 with Turk, you know, one with the Hardy Boys and one on December, you know, to Dismember, and that was it. And then I started, you know, they put me right in the frying pan, man. Daddy came along, Daddy being Dusty, he came along, he was like, all right, we finna get this thing rolling right now. We finna get it rolling. You know, once he got in that creative team, man, things just started picking up. and that's when the new breed came. Dusty got in, Dusty got it rolling. We were talking about the Creative Starcade, you know, and Great American Bash and all that. He got it rolling, man. And so here goes this talented group of young guys, and we're out there, and we're with these guys. But point being, I was able to go out there and hang with Rob Van Dam. Mm-hmm. Okay, I wasn't a proven commodity. I wasn't a proven wrestler, a proven athlete, however you want to look at it. Rob Van Dam is the whole effing show, Mr. Monday Night, you know, former ECW champion, former ECW television champion, former WWE ECW champion, and world champion. So, and tag team. This is Rob Van Dam. Right. And I was in there, and thanks be unto Rob, because, you know, he was very giving, and he didn't have to be. He was very giving, and Rob is a great guy. I love Rob. He's a great guy, and he helped me out tremendously. And you know, the day that I know found out that he was leaving and wasn't renewing his contract, I can't remember exactly where we were, and I'm not going to try. But I remember going up to him, and I thanked him a lot. I thanked him. You know, it meant a lot to me, and I know he's going on because he got other issues that he has to deal with, but I really, you know, it probably, you know, I can't thank him enough, you know, but I thanked him. He really put me on the map.
You talked about Turkai earlier and, like, getting in the ring, and do you feel like WWE brought you guys up as, with, like, in their mind, Turkai was going to be, like, the star of you two?
Well, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I had originally I was slated to be up in the Spirit Squad, and you know I couldn't buy that.
Can't imagine that.
Yeah, you know I talk about the little black kid with the afro all the time. Can you imagine a little black kid with the afro puff? Standing in the middle, you know, come on. So so I was like, nope. Not I, but you know, it wasn't just that I asked it, because that wasn't the case. If I just asked it, you know, then a lot of people, obviously, I wouldn't have been there. A lot of people think I just said, I'm not going to do it. No, that wasn't the case. I was given a choice. It was an opportunity that was made available to me, and it was my choice whether I wanted to accept it or not. I chose not to, and you know, they waited till something came up, and they got this big monster, Turkai, who they was going to bring up. You know, Turkai had been doing the MMA and all that stuff, and you know, everybody knows that Vince is big on that, and or at least there's a lot of interest in it or whatnot, and they were going to really push, in my opinion, they were going to push Turkai to the moon. Some things just didn't come together, and I was just going to be his corner man and his mouthpiece, and you know, so that was the intention, and like I said, everything I've ever gotten, I've earned. Hello?
Yeah, hold on, caller. Calm down. Go on.
Everybody, everything that I got, I earned. And when I say that, I'm talking about in the ring or on television. I literally earned it. If I got a little bit of attention on SmackDown and ECW, it's because I got in the ring and my work and my work ethic, it earned it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got what little I got.
Mm-hmm. We got a call in line. We got Jai.
Obviously, he's sitting there saying hello and interrupting me now.
He hung up. That was it. He was impatient, that other caller, and he hung up.
Oh,
but
okay.
we do have Jai on the line, so we won't yell at him because he's been very
okay.
Hi, Elijah.
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. My question is, what do you like better, the wire ropes or the ropes WWE uses? Why?
Great question. I would say WWE ropes. I like the ropes just because, I don't know. It's just a lot of people, they don't like the rope because they're easier to break, I think, and once they get worn, they're worn. But I love those ropes just because I literally jump into them, and they will catapult you. Sometimes those wire ropes, which is what I learned on in OVW before they switched to the WWE type ropes. Hey man, sometimes, if those things aren't covered well, and if you hit them enough, man, and they're too tight, brother, your thing that your whole back is just, it really does something to you. I mean, there was a point where I felt like I had hip surgery because I was going into my ropes leaning to the right to try to take some of the pressure off of my back from hitting the ropes. And, man, I was walking around here like I had hip surgery because my right hip was hurting just that bad from constantly hitting those ropes. So I definitely like WWE ropes better.
I'm at wrestling school right now, and yesterday was my second day, and I learned the ropes, and it's wire, and it hurts like hell.
Oh, you better believe it, brother. That's old school, though, man. So take it now. Go out there and learn. Don't look for the comfort road level or however you want to describe it. Don't look for it just yet. Take your bumps, take your bruises, so that way when you get to a different stage in your wrestling training, and you get to a different ring, and you're able to wrestle in something that you're more comfortable with, you'll appreciate it more, and you'll be able also to look back, one day like I am now, and tell somebody that's training, say, "Hey, man, I've been through it too." That's the good part. That's why I'm having a little fun now on the indie scene. It's something I never done. I got my tights stolen in Philadelphia, which I'll be there in 2 days at Velocity Pro Wrestling at the original ECW Arena against Jerry Lynn for the New Breed versus Old School rematch part 2. But I'll be able to look back now, when I'm headlining WrestleMania or whatever event, and I'll be able to share with the guys again. Yeah, I did the old, arenas and gymnasiums because it was something that I never experienced before. So take the experience, kid. It'll be a great learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. It means so much because this is the second day, and I can tell you, I know it's worth it, but it's you guys make it look easy.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Well, you're going to do the same thing too, as long as you're getting the proper training. As long as you're getting the proper training from the person and you're not just paying your money just to be paying your money, you'll be there too, man. You just got to work hard to have that work ethic.
It's Curtis Hughes that's training me, so hopefully he does a good job.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, bro.
Yeah, and that's VPWrestling.com. You can check out all Elijah's upcoming appearances if you go to the ElijahExpress.com. We have the link right up on our website. So if you can't spell, you can just click on the link.
And be sure to click on appearances, as there's a lot of appearances that are also on there that you can't see. We just advertise the immediate appearance coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of them coming up. It's good stuff. Was there any quick question from the message board, Inchman?
Yeah, I don't know if the Pope would approve of this name, but sometime lesbian wants to know.
What guy wouldn't approve of that? I don't know. I don't know. I better go in the kitchen and borrow some of Love's holy rolling boiling oil, and I might have to toss it over there on her. But go ahead.
She wants to know, you ever think about going to TNA?
It's an option. I keep saying this, and I did a convention a couple of months ago and I was sitting side by side with Terry Taylor, great guy. First time having an in-depth conversation, and I think meeting him. I'm not sure, but man, we talked for about probably an hour and a half, and this was after the convention was over. Just me and him. We just sat there and talked, and I had a good feel about him, and he was a great guy. And whether or not I'll actually go to TNA, that's to be determined. It's whatever makes sense, and you got to make sense. It got to make sense, and a lot of people bash TNA and whatnot, but we all watch wrestling, I'm sure, and there's a lot of things in wrestling and stuff that don't make sense, not just TNA. So,
right. When you were let go or you left WWE, did you know right away that you wanted to keep wrestling to prove that this is what you want to do?
Oh, brother, I'll be. Let's see. We'll back and see. I'm actually kind of having fun now because I don't feel like I'm on one of those type of interviews. I'm sitting there talking to y'all like I'm on the phone with somebody.
Yeah, that's what we like to do around here.
Yeah, I guess I'll go in the kitchen here then and grab me some cheese and crackers. No, I'll just. Actually, I had no. It's not an option. I guess. I mean, obviously, it is an option for me, but it never crossed my mind to stop. Once my last television appearance was in May. Okay, now follow me. I want to give you a little history lesson. My last television appearance was May of 2008. So it's going to be almost a year in 2 months. In 2 months coming up, it will almost be a year since the last time I wrestled and on TV. My last actual match was in June. So I was sitting on the sidelines from June June the 6th, the first week of June, all the way until November. And I hadn't done anything. And needless to say, I tell people all the time, if you ain't working, you ain't making no money. If you don't see the guy, you don't see me on TV or doing it, I ain't making no money. So when the release came, it wasn't foreseen, but I got this, a spirit of discernment. I mean, I am the Black Pope. So I kind of knew what was up, and it was people say it all the time, and a lot of them lie, but, well, so it seems, I'm not gonna speak against them, but I can only speak for myself. It was a relief because it was like, oh, okay, thank you. I can go work now. I can go make some money. I can get back in the ring. I can go do this. I can go do that. Because if I was being brought to TV, and then it just kind of, started getting slow, and then I was sitting home for 2 or 3 months, not doing anything. And you guys heard about the being run over by the car and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting at home and I'm not doing anything. So I had went on ahead and re-enrolled in college to finish my degree online, and so that's what I was doing, and but I never had any thoughts of doing anything else, other than wrestling, and that's what I'm going to continue to do till I can't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Unless it stops providing a living for me. If I can't make a living, then that's different. But I'm doing well. And, wrestling is my livelihood, and I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah. I won't mention names, but, I mean, we've had guests on before that, they're released, and then they basically just went home and didn't do anything. And then we've had guys on, like yourself, or...
It's kind of sad to see, too, because some of the guys that did get released, they have so much to offer, mm-hmm. And I haven't seen a lot of them. One of the biggest... I think I've heard a lot of people ask me or make comments saying that I'm underused and underrated and whatnot. Well, okay, that everybody has their opinion, but somebody that I just know that has so much to offer, or could offer a whole lot more and could have been used in a different light, is freaking Ken Dome.
Yeah.
You know, I love Ken. There was a time in OVW where he was the America's Most Wanted, and but he once we got up there and we got together and stuff, and I got to know him, he got to know me. Me and Ken, we go back, and he's just a great talent. This is a guy, that can stand right in front of me and leapfrog without touching me, vertical leap over my head. And he's been wrestling. He's always been a great. He's a well-rounded wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember he went out there in a match, and he had a match with Triple H before. A couple of months before he got released, he had a match with Triple H on SmackDown, and where he goes to introduce himself and whatnot, and a lot of people went, oh, he just went out there and he got squashed by Triple H. Yeah, go figure. No, he didn't. He didn't go out there and get squashed by Triple H. He freaking out there and he took it to Triple H. He took it to Triple H. All Triple H did was clothesline him and freaking pedigree him. Mm-hmm. Why is that a squash? Ken Dome is, big shout out to him. And my point of bringing him up is I don't see him doing anything. I just think that's ridiculous. I haven't heard anything. I have my own forum on my internet, and I have different types of things. I have a shout box on my internet website, and so I have fans come in and talk about a lot of stuff there and ask questions and leave comments, and I have a lounge there where they talk about different things that's going on in wrestling. And I haven't seen or heard anything about Ken Dome. I mean, to each his own. If he's fine, he's fine. I just love him, and I wanted to do something with Ken Dome. As a matter of fact, that was new breed material there, Daddy. I'm gonna talk like sir now. If there was anybody that could have been new breed material, it was that kid right there, and he can go all night long. So yeah, Ken Dome, man. So
let's see, Diva Tweety, and she's been asking this all night, and I think she's getting mad at me if I don't ever ask it, but she wants to know, what would your dream match be?
My dream match?
Mm-hmm.
I already kind of had it.
Who was that with?
Ric Flair.
Oh, okay.
My dream match would be Ric Flair,
yeah.
1-on-1. I had a chance to get him, in a tag match, and it wasn't supposed to be me then. Pope just pulled a couple of strings with the big black Pope in the sky. You see what I'm saying? And he just made it happen because it wasn't supposed to be me out there. But luckily it turned out, and I had been, when I tell you Pope had been pulling some strings, man, I'm talking about I had been pulling some strings with the big black Pope in the sky. And I'm saying, look, I'm saying, this guy, I'm saying, hey, this guy's on his way out. If I don't get a chance, and I'm talking to anybody, I'm telling anybody that listens, hey man, let me go out there and let me, be one of Flair's opponents. Let me try to end his career, and it just went on deaf ears, and then finally that happened, and you talking about something, brother? Look, go watch the tape. Put in Flair's definitive collection, and you will see Elijah Burke tapping out to the man himself, and the figure 4 leg lock never looked any better. You hear what I say?
Exactly.
Definitely.
That would actually be my dream match, with Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's done. Hopefully one day Dusty will take an independent booking, and I can go out there and bump for his elbow. That'll do me fine. Just stand in the center of the ring, Daddy. You ain't got to do much. Just stand there. I'll run into the elbow. But if you're talking about current stars, she's talking about current. I think Because dream matches for us guys, we always like to think of the guys that we look up to.
Right.
And those are my guys, I never had the chance to wrestle Sean yet. I never had the chance to wrestle Hunter. I never had the chance to wrestle Taker. I love working Kane. He is a great, probably the best big man in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a good matchup for me would be MVP.
Yeah, that'd be good stuff.
Me and MVP at any show, I think we can make magic happen. And I would have to go back after Punk. I think me and Punk could, not just a match, but I'm talking about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Me and Punk, we can make some magic happen on a stage like that.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about working with Punk? Because you guys had, a pretty long feud on ECW.
It was great. It was my only major feud, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. I knew the guy, and he knew me, and it was one of them things where it's like Flair and Ricky, and oh gosh, please, that'll be reported everywhere. Oh my good grief, did I slip up and say that? Oh, that'll be all over the internet. What I mean by saying Flair and Ricky, so that it's reported correctly, I'm talking about as how many times they wrestled each other.
Yeah.
And it was in my mind likened to their long feud, how they were wrestling each other every day, week in, week out. You guys go back to the whole start before the New Breed started. Me and Punk was on ECW. I was wrestling. I didn't even get a chance to take off my gear, and I was in the ring wrestling Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Paul Heyman was still there. So, one thing I liked about it, after we wrestled each other so much, it was like we knew each other.
Yeah.
We knew what to expect. We knew what, we knew what this guy does. He knows what I do. And we just go in there and, we love to go in there and work. And that's what I like about Punk. And then obviously he had no problem laying it in, and I have no problem laying it. We always, it was always a physical contest. And that's why I like working with Punk.
Yeah. You can see that now with him and him and Regal wrestle. You can tell that both guys don't mind taking it or giving it, and then it makes for really good.
Oh yeah, Regal does me so proud when he's out there kicking that guy's butt. Gosh, I just get if I could just watch them too, because although Punk's getting the win, isn't he getting his butt kicked? I just love it.
Oh yeah, getting his butt
I love to see Regal put it
yeah.
because it's like, I didn't get a chance to finish the job, Regal, so just do it. Kick his butt. And I enjoy every minute of it.
Mm. This guy, he's telling me I have to mention his name's Oliver Newman from the UK, and I guess he's contacted you via MySpace for a career interview, and I don't know, but he wants to know what...
Apparently people don't know. You're not contacting me for no interview or anything. Number one,
right.
I don't run my MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
That is ran by someone totally different, and I don't take my bookings. I get informed of them, and then we'll go from there. I don't like to talk to people because a lot of guys they want to start trying to go this back and forth stuff. If we're going to do business, you go through the proper procedure. You talk to my girl that's handling the bookings, and once y'all get a deal finalized, then I'll step in, and then we could talk and go from there. Otherwise, I don't want to talk. I ain't got time to be, playing these little games and whatnot.
Yeah. The Pope's a busy man.
Exactly.
Beach day.
Seriously, man. I just went to bed at 7 o'clock this morning trying to finish this critical analyst essay that I have to do. I don't have time to be around here calling y'all, and you want me to call you so you can say, hey, I'm thinking about throwing a show on this day or that day, and I was wondering if you'd be interested. Well, sure. okay, well, I'll see if everything goes through, and then I'll call you back. No, don't call me. What you mean? You should call me when you got it already scheduled. And then you wonder why. That's why I don't. That's why, I mean, seriously, what type of promoters are? Brother, I just went and did a show. I just went and did a show where the promoter had
Come on, Pope, give it to us.
He was in every. He was in every segment. If they had 8 matches, he was involved in 6 of them. Good grief. But hey, you know, I will say this. My first match back was December the 20th, and that was in Philadelphia at the ECW Arena, and it was against Jerry Lynn. That was my first post WWE match. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm going in here, and this is what it is. I got Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn worked the mess out of me. You know, I was a little sluggish. I think he said I was great, and I appreciate it. Which, you know, we went out there and we did the do. My point of saying that is, that was Jerry Lynn. I have to get out of the habit of expecting Jerry Lynn, or even remotely close to Jerry Lynn, at any of these, you know, most of the shows I do, because, you know, and it's no knock on those guys. It's no knock. It's just that, you know, Jerry Lynn is so much more experienced, and I have to realize where I'm at and where some other people are, because I could be coming in and do a show, and, you know, it's one of those marks that reported to Dave Meltzer, you know, that they couldn't go out there and follow an Elijah match. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know.
And
report that to Dave Meltzer. What an idiot! Any idiot out there that was at any show with anybody that has drawn money and has worked in front of 80,000 people, what you should be trying to do is get as much knowledge as you can. You're a moron.
To me, when I read it just seemed like if you did say it, just came off like a joke. Be like, follow this.
No, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. And it definitely wasn't even real. It was none of that stuff.
Right.
It was not. It was motivation, as they say. It's something that professionals do. Everybody should go out there to try to do better. Everybody should go out to the ring to outdo the match that was done before them. By God, thank heavens I had an opportunity to wrestle Chris Benoit a couple of times. Mm-hmm. You know, because that was Chris's motto. That's the boys' motto. When Batista and Undertaker went out there WrestleMania 23, he came back through the curtain. You know what he said? Follow that. That's right. Professionalism. That's heart. That's the heart of this business. And the idiot and the moron that tried to go out there and bastardize my name, the Pope blesses him.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. We kept you a lot longer than we told you.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, that's all right. It was all my. Y'all done got me heated. Now you want to throw me away? Ain't that something?
I do want to know about the sci-fi Ghost Hunter experience.
Oh, you want to know?
The Pope was running from a ghost.
What do you want to know?
That one part where you got really scared and you ran down the hallway. What was the deal with that?
Well, what people don't realize about that Ghost Hunters is there was a platform and opportunity for Pope to be seen and hopefully cast in another role after having such a performance. People ask, how dark was it and this and that. If you go outside and you stand on the street light, that's how dark it is, or how dark it was at the place. The black lighting is what they call it, the night vision. The night vision is what you guys see and make you think that it's truly pitch black dark. And that's not the case. It's about as dark if you look out your window and you can see the street light or whatnot. That's about how bright it was there. So something touching me on the shoulder, you know, it is what it is. But
right.
Pope,
It makes for good TV.
Well, no, it was great TV. it was great TV, and that's what it was supposed to be. But Pope was trying to get more parts. Pope wanted to come on an original ECW sci-fi movie.
There you go.
You know, invite me. You know, they were telling me how good I was doing and how great I was, and when I scared their guys, you know, they told me how, you know, hey, you know, we don't. It kind of, you know, make the guys look, you know, whatnot. So, in my mind, I want to try to give back. I want to make them happy, and I want them to bring me back, which they were going to do this year, but I wasn't on TV. They were bringing me back, obviously, and you know, I wasn't up there, so they chose The Miz. But yeah, it would have been great. It was a platform, and I want to show my range. I want to do whatever that can possibly get me noticed and seen. If that thing right there, and this is business, and a lot of people don't understand business. A lot of people don't understand work. Everybody says wrestling is fake and this and that, and yet you still see these freaking Meltzer, I think, you know, and I don't know Meltzer. I'm just saying because I know y'all said he wrote that. You still see all these websites and magazines that are getting worked over what they see, but yet it's TV. And I tell people this: there's about as much entertainment and fixed things in the reality shows than there is reality. It's just normal people that are used and manipulated in certain situations, and the rest is planned and entertained. And if it doesn't go right the first time, I'm not gonna ask me how many times we said cut and let's redo it.
Yep.
None.
So you know, if it's on TV, brother, it's entertainment. Now, reality basically means we're going to use some normal people. That's it.
Right.
We're going to use everyday people to make this thing work.
Earlier, you go on, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say earlier, you brought up you were still in the ECW and Paul Heyman was there. How did you get along with him?
Dang, brother, out of all the stuff, you're trying to get some dirt and you're trying to get some meat, and out of all the stuff you can come up with is Paul Heyman. Good grief. Paul Heyman is one of the greatest greatest mad scientists to ever live. Mm-hmm. He is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. This guy he's it, man. I mean, I worked with Paul Heyman down at OVW as well. And for a second, OVW became like the Philadelphia-based ECW. I mean, he couldn't do everything that he wanted to do, but man, Paul Heyman is a mastermind.
Yeah.
And you know, Paul Heyman is the one that wanted me over in ECW and brought the Turk, and the whole tide was shifting. You know, he was taking the focus off of Turk. And it's going to be, you know, the Elijah experience now, you know, and I'm going to tell this story because I love Turk, and Turk is a gentle giant. That's my brother. I love him dearly. So I'm going to tell this story, and you know, you guys can do what you want to do from here. But Paul Heyman, y'all know my black jacket that I used to wear. I had the Elijah experience. You know, Turk was supposed to have one of those too. And, you know, we got the new outfits for December to December, and that was going to be, you know, we were coming out with that now because the focus was shifting from Turk, and it was going to be, you know, on Elijah. And Turk said, wait a minute, brother. Wait, this don't say my name on the back. This says the Elijah Spirit. I'm not going to walk around with somebody else's name on my back. And I'm saying to myself, whoa, wait a minute, bro. Turk, wait. You know, I can understand because he was brought in and he probably was told this and told that. And then after a while, we started getting a new creative direction. But I'm saying, wait a minute, I walked around for 6 months with your name on my back. You know, I called you the freaking man bear. I had no idea about all that bear stuff, but you know, I called you the man bear. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I was screaming your name every night, not my name. I'm screaming Turkai. Turk is one of the most gentle giants. I wish they had to let him be himself. I wish they had to let him, Turk was Bruiser Brody, incarnated number 2. And if they would have let Turk been Turk, because he just was, they confused. When you got 6, 7 different people in your ear telling you how to do this or do it this way, do it that way. I mean, come on, the guy's been hit in the head more times than I have. And, of course, he ain't, it's kind of hard to kind of put all this stuff together. And Turk is educated. This dude is knowledge. He is so educated. Mm-hmm. But when they throwing all this stuff in him, man, it's like, well, what do I take? What do I listen to? How do I do this? What do I do? And, so... But, yeah, I love Turk. I miss him, too. Last I heard, he was over in Thailand when I talked to him. He was over in Thailand. He had just finished a movie over there, so... Yeah.
It was weird because what really made him over in MMA and I think he maybe didn't get kickbox, I don't know. But it was like he kind of had a professional wrestling character, like you said, Bruiser Brody had the big chain. And then when he came into wrestling, they dropped all that, and it was just kind of like a straight-up MMA guy.
Well, yeah, they wanted MMA, and other people, I don't think they were big on Bruiser Brody. Mm-hmm. But, until the beard came along, and now we got Bruiser on Monday night. So.
Yeah.
And kudos to Mike Knox. Kudos to him since I brought his, I mentioned his beard. Kudos to his beard and him. Because, this is a guy that was in limbo for a minute or two, in serious limbo, and along came the beard. I think they need to make a doggone production out of that. Along came the beard. Along came Polly. Along came the beard, because that beard has done wonders.
And he's really capitalized on this chance, he's getting another chance, and
exactly. So good for him.
Yeah. Intra and I debate over the beard every week. I'm a big fan of the beard. Intra not so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I tell you guys what though, I appreciate you guys for having me on. I'm about to get ready to head over to the IYHexpress.com on the forums and interact with my congregation for a couple of minutes before I wrap this thing up, and it was great. If anybody's out there, I hope you, all those that are listening or that are reading, if you're in the Philadelphia area, be sure to stop by to see Elijah Burke whoop up on yet another ECW original and hardcore legend, Jerry Lynn. Here's the reason I really hate this guy. I know I'm finna leave, but the reason I really hate Jerry Lynn is because I am not a big fan of the movie The Wrestler. Mm-hmm. And every time I hear Mickey Rourke's name mentioned, I think Jerry Lynn. And I'm gonna take out all my frustrations and whatnot on him, because these people around here held heralding this guy and up like he's some sort of hero because it's his, in my opinion, negative portrayal of this business. And it's good. I thought it was a C movie. I said that before. I thought it was a C movie at best, but I do not think that all that Oscar talk and awards, I don't think it's for the movie itself. I just think it's because of the backstory, which is that movie is almost a replica of Mickey Rourke's life. I know you guys weren't expecting that. I just wanted to get it out there again. That movie is a replica of Mickey Rourke's life. The old washed-up 80s actor went into boxing and went into obscurity, never to be heard from until Sin City, and then he held on until he finally got a big break, and that's that. And that's why these people are going crazy, because when they watch that movie, y'all know good and well the media is not a fan of wrestling. There's no way a wrestling movie can go up there. It's not because, oh, my God, this is such a compelling movie. It's not that. It's the fact that this Mickey Rourke, this 56-year-old guy, got his body together, and these award winners are going, man, dude, don't Jerry Lynn look good? I thought he was done back in 1993 with ECW, and look at him. He looks great. Wow, he deserves one last run. Let's give him a championship. And that's why these people are giving all this praise to Mickey Rourke. This guy got about as much charisma as Braden Walker.
Oh, that's a big. I know Intra's a big fan of Braden Walker from our experiences with him.
I'm a huge fan of Chris Harris. Not Braden Walker. I'm a huge fan of Chris Harris.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I throw it in your hands now.
All right. Well, but real quick, Love and Queen say, "Hey, Pope." I had to give them a shout out.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and to all my folks listening, because again, I got to get over there. I know I got Youngin, aka Gizmo, Angelina Love, DS Shocker, Deke, Carney, Monticello, Queen, Crazy A, Lita. I know all of them are over there on the site waiting for me, so I better get over there and holler at them real quick.
All right, that's the ElijahExpress.com. Well, all the links are on the website.
Yeah. Hey,
I know
man,
we said a half hour and we made it an hour, but can we keep you here for just 1 second?
Oh, sure.
This is Smo Joe, and you listen to InYourHeadOnline.com.